Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is going to be a bit of a mixed up episode as I bounce around between a few different tasks trying to gather a variety of resources. Mostly, I'm just going to be recording and playing, and you'll get the content that ends up being interesting. We need like one more thorium in order to make an Arcanist's workbench. We need 3 more memories to get the next tier of stuff from the memory temple shrine. Let's see. We need 100 azure logs in order to upgrade the armory bench. It's just kind of a mix of things, and so there's going to be a lot of traveling, a lot of collecting random supplies, and so I figure I'll just show you what's interesting from that. Yes, we also need 2 gold, 5 venom sacks for the alchemist's workbench. So it's really just a smattering of goods. Because we have the things to make the adamantite Kirchis, for instance, but we cannot upgrade the workbench. So, onwards and outwards. I think I'll start... I think I'll explore these sandy areas a bit more, just to see if that provides any insights into if the desert is full of thorium, and that looks azure-y. Maybe I'll get some logs there. Okay, this might be our 100th creature. A camel. Though they seem to not... They don't seem to run very fast. And they don't seem to be able to be ridden. So... And here we have found a failed world gen system. This is like finding, I don't know, finding some ancient artifact of an unknown civilization. Like you just get a peek into what some post-scarcity alien civilization can do. Okay, we've got some scorpions with skeleton faces. Okay, that attack is definitely slow. And yeah, looks like you cannot block if your stamina runs out. Okay. I'd seen Sturdy Chitin before, but that's, or like, as a crafting ingredient, or crafting item requirement. But that was the first time I've actually seen it drop. That's all the thorium we need. I am curious what is in here, though. And we're getting rain sounds, but no rain visuals. Holy goodness. See what I mentioned last time in that mine about, like, having a few too many mobs all in one spot? Like, I can deal with 2 or 3 of them, but goodness, not 7 at once. Those skeletons die super fast. Oh, heck you. Okay, let's check what this crossbow thing's about. So you can load it up to 6. And then you just rapid fire them out. Interesting variation. I mean, that's generally not how crossbows work. I mean, they can work that way, but... And have we now killed everything? Because we killed them all at once? Pumpkins, bones, and iron. Okay, the Kim is saying I found a rattlesnake somewhere. That was a really far memory. It has been raining a lot in this desert. Oh, interesting. You have to reload the crossbow every time you change to it. And it does not seem to do much damage. But I'm guessing that would have been venomous. Come on. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the map. I had been hoping to go over there and got sidetracked. A very reasonable place for a fortress. That bodes well for the terrain generation. That it put itself in between 2 mountains. Alright, I've been wandering around these desert caverns for a little bit, and we've started to come across some interesting colors. And by that I mean purple and fleshy and I don't know, chitinous. So I'm going to take a brief detour to investigate what these critters are. Why does it sound this way? Goodness. cracks. And they're a bit annoying. There was a dev log made for how they make all of these egg sounds. I think it was crushing styrofoam cups. I think I don't really like the crossbow. It feels like it locks me in too much to either attacking or like ranged or not. You know, I want to be able to pull it open or pull out my bow, shoot with it, and then switch back to my sword ASAP. But with the crossbow, I feel like I have to wait a few seconds and then shoot. It's probably good in multiplayer, where you can be the person standing back with the bow, but otherwise it's not as great. Okay, so that was a bit of a loop, but I thought I saw a special looking one in there. Are you any different? No. It looks like their AI fails a little bit when they get moderately close. That there's kind of a dead zone between approaching and attacking. Well, I don't know what we need chitin for, but we now have a bit of it. Where do we have a bit of it, though? 17. That's probably not as much as this game wants us to have, but cool. As soon as my sword charges, I switch off of it. Okay, so I guess you can fall into nests of these things if you're not paying attention. Oh, this is what I was kind of looking for on the map. So it seems just to be an overground thing that has underground implications. That swing seems very delayed. I'll return to the surface. We have 35 thorium. We can check out the Arcanist's workbench and see what that does, and possibly do another thing or two. Well, a quick look at what the above ground area looks like. One recommendation I would make for the devs is to make some enemies resistant to environmental hazards, because not so many things should be dying on all of these bushes that they theoretically live near. You know, that if they have a carapace, then why are they getting pricked to death? While I'm making the trek back to spawn, I might as well mention that last episode I had tested the stamina potion, because I am of the opinion it only helps if it restores stamina over time, even when blocking and such. And I tested the potion, and it seemed to. I then realized shortly after that I had the stamina boost effect. And it seems the effect of stamina boost is that it provides stamina even when running, blocking, etc. Ouch. So, needless to say, it was not a proper test of the stamina potion, and I don't think the stamina potion provides stamina over time or when blocking. The stamina potion does seem to have some kind of lingering effect, but I don't know, that might just be a cannot use another stamina potion for a few seconds symbol. So I bring this up partially because I'm running right now, and while I'm running, I can tell that the stamina effect is slightly extended by the stamina boost effect, which I currently don't have because it expired. So, in all, the stamina boost effect helps you run and block for longer because it lasts for longer. Well, it passively restores it during situations where it might otherwise not. Alright, so I've made an Arcanist's workbench. Seems to be a very fancy structure. Okay, lets us create teleporters, which is great. As long as we find Azure Kelp and more Azure logs. I went to the Azure biome and only picked up 50. And then miscellaneous items. Okay, these don't have much description to them, but they seem slightly expensive. And flame crystal staff. So what? It shoots fire, uses some mana stat. I don't know. We'll have to experiment with that when we find rubies and more gold and such. As for now, Azure Kelp is definitely a priority. Unfortunate that that is not as readily apparent where it comes from. As the Azure trees, which, yes, did come from here. Might have to go wander to that section. I would like to wander north, but I'm not seeing anything novel that way. Okay, and for this exploration, I'll go check out these two locations, while keeping an eye out for anything that looks like an Azure Sea. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I'll show you if I find it. Alright, we're coming up to that thing that I saw, or marked on the map. It's a mansion. I don't imagine we'll find anything too scary in here, having already gone through a mansion in the lava area. Unfortunately, it probably means that we're also not going to find much of value, but we will see. Okay, yep. We can just kind of kill our way through these guys. The only reason I had run was to try and make sure I was getting enough health regen to shrug off their attacks. But once that is happening, there's not much that can threaten. I did learn that you can climb up ropes, though. Did it die? Okay. So I know at some point there was a well that I had like looked at but not gone down, and I could have gone down it. Cool, looks like they have some kind of basement spider pit. I wonder how you get down to it. Well, we can always explore it the dangerous way. Come on. Okay, just looks like that wasn't anything. Well, I mean, it wasn't nothing. Got some nice spider bits, but that's just an oubliette, not intended to be part of the actual structure itself. Where would a azure kelp be? Well, let's check this out, and then let's check the coast for azure kelp. Yeah. I'm not against the exploration aspect, but after each of these episodes, and particularly during this one, I am spending, I don't know, 5-10 minutes running back to the house and just sorting things. You know, it does get a little bit tiring, particularly when there's no efficient way to manage a horse or something. You know, I cannot saddle a horse and assume it will stay. And maybe I have to feed it something, and I'm not doing that. But at least for now, unless I wanted to make a minecart system, there is no convenient way of going back and forth on a single path. Okay, this looks like some larger Torak camp. Looks like I lost my bow charge somehow. Vault that, and vault that, and then I'm up here, and I can vault that and step on some fire. Then I can vault up here, and oh look, I'm probably at a place that they can't reach. Well, let's go in the front door. Okay, and I think that caused a few of them to start burning. Come on, dudes. Interesting. So some Torak warrior gauntlets. Okay. I wonder how those are intended to stack against the ancient steel items. They provide the same amount of health and copper, stamina, life essence. So 7 and then 3 stats. Physical and projectile resistance. Okay, so the ancient steel ones are more durable, but the Torak warrior ones are actually stronger. Yeah, just seems a little odd, because I had to fight what was it, like, ancient or forgotten civilization Praetorian or something. And then for the Torak ones, I don't know, shot a Torak guy twice. Because he had already mostly burned to death. So that was a Torak encampment. Let's go check out the water. Alright, we're at the ocean. Let us see what things are. I should start by clearing up my inventory. Mushrooms, more ores. Don't even really need the ores, but... Seaweed. Okay, well that's not azure kelp. Is this azure kelp? Nope, it's just degrading into plant fibers. Alright, I've run all the way back to the first azure biome that I went to. And it looks like there is one azure kelp. Just a quick look around seems to indicate that there is not any more azure kelp. So that's really unfortunate. Cool, I think the bear just hit that spider. Yeah, but that is generally awful because I think I only know of one other azure location. And it is here. Maybe that pool has some. But if not, then I'm exhausting all 3 locations. And not managing to get 2 portals. And that would be pretty unfortunate because I would like the next episode to be looking for Arctic lands, because I've seen a few screenshots of them. And I think that might be, might have some indication of more materials. Because we still haven't seen things like shadow scraps around. And those, I think, are necessary to upgrade the workbench in order to get some of the higher tier armors, weapons. I don't know. They're a thing in the game. I haven't found them, and I would like them. Alright, let's see if this last Azure Pool has any more kelp for me. It is kelp? I'm not seeing it. That is super frustrating. Like, that's not what we're looking for. I guess I'll run to it as a stopgap of maybe there'll be some there. Oh my goodness. I would just like to make a comment that I've been cutting out most of this footage, as you can imagine. I've encountered so many bears. Like, I've encountered a bear for every 2 or 3 peaceful mobs. It is just... it's silly. Yep, okay, there's 2 wolves. Not to mention the spiders. Undead void creatures. The ecology of this place is very unique. Okay, there we go. That's an azure biome, not just these, like, 10 trees in a line that I have been finding. It's so far away from my base, though. At least I can just swim back in, like, a straight line. Okay, we've gotten a void specter. Good, bro? Okay. Well, that was something, but maybe we can find a few bits of kelp here. Let's go 1, 2... Okay, stop. Okay. Let's hit these pools of water. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, because I'm not seeing any kelp. Okay. Nope. None here. Game, please. If I hadn't found one of them, I would assume I had no idea where to find them. Unless it was just lucky that I found one there at all. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And fighting more of these creatures. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I have 5 kelp. Can it please be day? Goodness. Let's go across the water here. Well, I assume this water can also have kelp. Goodness. Okay, and I'm going to use the tool repair kit on my thorium sword. So it has 150 durability. 5%. And now it has 135, which... meh. So it's lost 15, I don't know, swings? It's hard to know exactly what that accounts to, but... because I just hit that 5 times, that creature 5 times, and broke a bush or something. And it went down by, the durability went down by 2. Another 5 swings and the durability went down. Unfortunately, we are at the point where I'm weighing getting more Azure Kelp. We have 13 of them against the monotony of fighting more of those and the spawns that they make. I've killed quite a number of them. I don't know, something about the nighttime just seems to confuse me. It always feels like it should be day. But at least when I'm in the pools, it seems like those crawling guys can't get at me. Oh, cool, I walked right under one. Yippee! And I'm not seeing any more kelp. So it's just time to leave. We'll have to be happy with 14 Azure Kelps, and remember to stop by any more Azure Forests that we find along our journeys. Is the Azure Forest just full of those? Okay, well that was just a 5-minute run, or mostly swim back. And of course I'm greeted by our old friend. And my furnace is still on. So, yeah. I guess I didn't exactly entirely expect the furnace to finish cooking, but might have been nice. Let's just process a bunch of stuff. Alright, I've dropped everything off. Let's experiment with this teleporter. So, crafting it, nothing surprising. It is a multi-block, and we can, base 1. Base 2. And it teleports us, well, quite a distance away. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it says on the tin. Huh. Oh, those are additional teleporter symbols. Okay, so I have another idea. If I put a teleporter, let's say here, base 1, home, save. Oh, I was going to see if I could put one in the shrine area, but we can't put blocks and stuff in the shrine area. So, no. Because if we could, then anytime we're out exploring and we find a forgotten temple, we would be able to go here, which would let us go back to spawn through the warp. But alas, is not to be. And in all of this, we have found 19 more memories. We have found all of the void spawns. Okay. Scorpions, snakes. Okay, so what did that get us? Ancient Gateway, Portal Fragments, Backpack Upgrade, Decorative Chests, Eternal Seeds, and Maximum Teleporters. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Maximum Teleporters. That would be enough to put it in our home base, a volcanic area, somewhere in the desert, and then somewhere in some frosty land that we find. As long as we don't die with a teleporter on us, we should generally be able to carry a teleporter. And so as long as we don't die, we will be able to just teleport to and from it. Which should make, at a minimum, as long as we're running in the same direction all of the time, then it would drastically cut down on the amount of back and forth we have to do, particularly with emptying our inventory. Nope, and I got a bluebird. Nope. Maybe there's just no fall damage here. Anyways, drop off the memory and keep going. Let's double check what these have to trade. Spices, salt, dough, meat skewers, berry bushes. Like, the berry bushes might be nice. The meat pies are strong. But why would I ever take the meat pie over the apple pie? Okay, so there's only a limited stock of each. Okay, so I should eventually just farm until I can reliably make a Caesar salad. And that will do a lot. So it gives regen and boost. Well, health regen, stamina boost. And this is... So it does not provide health boost. Which I think I'm okay with. I mean, I don't really know the implications of what stamina boost is. I don't think we've seen it. But it's... I would much rather have health regen than greater maximum health. And Ancient Gateway. Tear down barriers and travel to other fragments. Okay. So it looks like we can now travel to other planes. That will be something to keep in mind. I think we have just a few more things to do on Orbis, and then I'll focus on that. You know, I would like the second backpack upgrade. We just don't seem to be getting heavy leather. Not to mention that, like, the next tier of workbench upgrade takes 30 more. Yeah, and that takes 20 medium leather. So, woohoo. Medium. And can we upgrade this? Do I really want to? We're going to have to eventually, like, I'm going to spend so much of my leather on this, and then I'm going to want more. And it only gets the workbench to tier 2, not even 3. Projectile and physical. They're pretty equivalent. I don't even see how their durability increases. I might make a iron shield, because we don't know the implications of that. Upgrade the workbench. Now we can make better stuff. Okay, so we have chitin, void heart. The only thing we don't have is the shadow weave scraps. So maybe that is... So thorium was in the desert. Adamantite was in the volcanic lands. Cobalt, it's blue. Gonna assume that it's in the cold biomes. Yeah. Just, I'm going to believe with my entire heart that it is in the frost biomes. Yeah, because cobalt and ice, thorium, well, that's just life. Anyways, put away the medium, get the light out, and I'm going to make an iron shield. This shield doesn't have durability damage on it, but I'm going to assume that the iron one is more efficient at blocking. Yeah, just going to have to test that assumption next time we're in combat, and then kind of be unable to really compare. Okay, yeah, maybe I should have been fighting all those wolves and stuff I was finding. Can we make more teleporters? Yeah. Let's just make my maximum number of teleporters. And then... Okay. So Alchemist's Workbench is kind of the last thing that we don't have access to. I'm going to assume that the Alchemist, or that gold, is mostly in the cold biomes, because again, we haven't been there. Therefore, I'm going to make going to the cold biomes my next priority. Our bow has durability, sword's good, pickaxe is good. Maybe we'll make a better hatchet. Really, it takes medium leather. Yeah, iron hatchet. I'm going to need a little bit more food. Particularly as I'm starting to use food just while I'm running around. You can just get salt blocks. Chef stove. This is a chef stove. Okay. Okay, so on the assumption that there is the vaguest amount of climate science, I'm going to assume that this is somehow the tropics, and there's a desert here, and so I need to go far north, probably just going to travel straight up the ocean here, maybe check out this biome, and maybe we'll find something cold. But yeah, that is all the time I have for today. We'll see how much actual footage there is. I mean, running back from that last Azure biome was 5 minutes, so, you know, I went south twice, explored underground here to there to up here, well, here to there to back here to up there to back. Plenty of running around. Right, I also stopped over here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.